Have you ever caught yourself drifting through your days, promising you'll change tomorrow, only to find that tomorrow always feels just a little further away? A groundbreaking Harvard study revealed something deeply unsettling. On average, we spend nearly half of our waking hours, 47%, distracted, lost in thoughts that have nothing to do with the present moment. Think about that. Almost half your life quietly slipping away, unnoticed. Consider this carefully. What if the dreams you're delaying today quietly vanish tomorrow before you've had the chance to pursue them? Seneca, an ancient philosopher who taught humanity about the precious nature of time, warned us clearly. It's not that life is short, it's that we waste much of it. Imagine waking up one ordinary morning decades from now, realizing with crushing clarity that your life slipped silently through your fingers, postponed indefinitely. There's a hidden reason you keep postponing your life, and it's not what you think. I'll reveal it soon, but first you need to understand the real stakes. Alan Watts, the great thinker who made Eastern wisdom accessible to the modern world, challenged our comfortable assumptions with a simple yet profound truth. Life exists only at this very moment. Your future, as real as it feels, doesn't exist yet. It's merely an idea, a fragile illusion distracting you from the life unfolding right here, right now. There's a lesser-known story called Before the Law, written by Franz Kafka, that powerfully captures this danger. A man spends his entire life standing before a grand door, convinced that his destiny lies just beyond it. Year after year, he waits patiently for permission to enter, waiting for the right moment, the perfect opportunity. Only at the very end of his life does the gatekeeper tell him a heartbreaking truth. This door was meant only for you, and now I'm going to close it. He had the key all along, but he waited until it was too late. Now picture yourself scrolling endlessly through your phone late at night, promising silently you'll change tomorrow. You imagine taking that bold step toward the life you secretly desire, maybe pursuing a hidden passion, making a brave decision, but then convince yourself again that now isn't the right time. Days become weeks, weeks become years, and suddenly you realize the opportunity has quietly passed you by. So ask yourself clearly and courageously, if tomorrow never arrives, what dreams will you regret never having pursued? To understand why you keep postponing your dreams, we first must face a powerful truth you've been avoiding, a truth you'll discover in the next chapter. There's a unique honesty about mirrors. They offer no comfort, only clarity. When you face yourself, alone, staring directly into your own eyes, what you see is the result of every decision you've ever made. Viktor Frankl, a renowned psychiatrist who survived unimaginable suffering during World War II, captured this truth powerfully when he said, "Everything can be taken from you except your freedom to choose your attitude." Your life, exactly as it stands right now, reflects your past choices. Yet, most of us prefer comforting illusions. We blame circumstances, timing, and luck. But beneath these excuses lies something deeper. Something Carl Jung, the pioneering psychologist, identified as your shadow, the hidden, ignored, and suppressed parts of yourself. Every fear you've never faced, every regret silently building inside you, resides within this shadow. Left unseen, it quietly dictates your decisions, steering you away from growth, courage, and ultimately happiness. To understand this clearly, consider the true story of Emily, a woman who spent nearly 20 years working in a job she hated. Deep down, she dreamed of becoming an artist, but fear of failure and judgment trapped her in comfort. She silenced her own voice, reassuring herself, "One day I'll pursue art, just not now." That one day never came. Eventually, her job vanished in an instant due to company downsizing, forcing her to face a harsh reality she'd spent her life avoiding. She'd given away her best years for safety, only to end up empty-handed. Emily's tragedy wasn't failure, it was that she never even tried. How many years of your life look exactly like Emily's? Be brutally honest. How long have you stood frozen by fear, avoiding the uncomfortable truths hidden in your shadow? Here's the comfort paradox clearly laid out for you. The safest choices you make are precisely the ones most likely to lead you directly toward regret. The more you avoid facing what scares you, the stronger those fears become. Ignoring fear doesn't erase it, it empowers it, quietly dictating your life's direction. Søren Kierkegaard, a philosopher dedicated to understanding human choices, warned us, "Life must be understood backward, but it must be lived forward." Every truth you avoid today becomes a regret you carry tomorrow. Pause now and confront this powerful question directly. What uncomfortable truth are you avoiding right now that, if faced honestly, would radically change your future? Your willingness to answer this question truthfully holds the power to transform everything. The courage to face this truth is what we'll explore next. Have you ever found yourself waiting for the perfect moment, convinced you'll start as soon as you feel ready, as soon as fear finally fades? Here's the hidden truth few understand. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's action despite fear. Friedrich Nietzsche, one of history's most courageous thinkers, revealed a transformative secret he called Amor Fati, the profound love and acceptance of your fate. Courage, Nietzsche showed us, is not eliminating uncertainty, it's stepping directly into it, fully aware and choosing to move forward anyway. Consider David, a man who dreamed passionately of creating his own business. Each morning he'd imagine the fulfillment that awaited him, then immediately feel paralyzed by a relentless, overwhelming fear. Doubts filled his mind. What if I fail? What will people think? David waited patiently for courage to arrive, but the more he waited, the louder fear became. Until one day, in quiet desperation, David finally realized that waiting for fear to vanish meant waiting forever. Courage wasn't going to magically appear. Courage had to be created. So David made a single, intentional step forward. He registered a website domain, something small yet profoundly symbolic. The moment he acted, something incredible happened. The power of his fear instantly diminished. Neuroscience confirms why our brains literally rewire themselves every time we act courageously. Small acts of bravery create profound neurological changes, dismantling fear's hold over us piece by piece. But let's address something even deeper, something most people overlook entirely. Here's the paradox of waiting. If you continue waiting until you feel ready, the truth is, you will never begin. Every day spent hesitating actually strengthens fear, convincing you even more deeply that you cannot overcome it. Albert Camus, who found meaning in life's deepest uncertainties, urged clearly, the only way to deal with an unfree world is to become so absolutely free that your very existence becomes an act of rebellion. Your true rebellion isn't shouting defiantly at the world, it's quietly defying your own fear every single day. Now take a moment and think about yourself. What courageous step have you postponed, convinced you'll feel ready tomorrow? Be brutally honest. What single powerful action could you take today, right now, to permanently weaken your fear's grip over your life? The small step you take today is far more powerful than the grand leap you dream of tomorrow. Courage never appears before you act. It's born through action itself. Every decision you make in the face of fear sends an unmistakable message to your future self, casting a decisive vote for who you will become. Because courage isn't about fearless leaps, it's about quiet, deliberate steps taken despite the whispers of fear. The courage you've been missing isn't waiting in some distant future, it's here, right now, waiting in the single decision you make next. There exists inside each of us an invisible prison, one built quietly and carefully over years, not from metal or stone, but from the subtle, persistent stories we tell ourselves about our limitations. I'm not good enough. It's too late. Success is for other people. These narratives quietly shape our lives, imprisoning us in imagined cages so real they feel unbreakable. Carl Jung, the visionary psychologist who revealed the hidden dimensions of our minds, warned us directly. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you'll call it fate. Let me share with you a powerful, lesser-known parable that reveals how these limiting beliefs silently imprison us. Picture a young elephant chained by its leg to a small stake. Day after day it struggles to break free, until finally exhausted, it accepts its fate. As years pass, that elephant grows into a powerful giant, strong enough to uproot trees and crush anything in its path. Yet it remains tied to that same small stake, never attempting to break free again. Why? Because its true chains aren't physical, they're mental. The elephant believes it can't break free because it once tried and failed. This precisely is the invisible prison holding you back. Old beliefs, inherited fears, past failures. None of them are real, but you've accepted them as true. Reflect deeply now. What invisible chains have you accepted as permanent limitations? What dream have you quietly abandoned, convinced by past experiences that freedom isn't possible? The philosopher Bertrand Russell, famous for challenging society's deepest illusions, warned sharply about our obsession with productivity and false importance. He provocatively wrote, "One of the symptoms of an approaching nervous breakdown is the belief that one's work is terribly important." Russell's insight isn't merely philosophical, it pinpoints exactly why you feel trapped by pressure and anxiety. Consider honestly, how often have you pursued goals defined by others, chasing external validation, only to feel emptier than before? This isn't ambition, it's imprisonment disguised as purpose. Here's a liberating truth you must clearly grasp. The stories keeping you trapped have power only because you continue to believe them. Robin Sharma, a modern teacher on human potential, reminded us vividly, everything is created twice. First in the mind and then in reality. Change your inner narrative and your reality inevitably follows. But exactly how do you dismantle an invisible prison? First, clearly recognize the bars, the limiting stories you've unconsciously accepted. Understand these aren't objective truths. They're outdated, inherited, or simply false beliefs you've never questioned. Second, take immediate direct action that defies these beliefs. Each small act of defiance gradually dismantles your mental cage. Let's confront this clearly right now. What limiting belief, what invisible chain must you challenge today to reclaim the life you deserve? Your honest answer and your immediate action is precisely what unlocks your freedom. The prison you imagine holding you back is built only from illusions. Each courageous step forward dismantles these illusions, bar by bar, chain by chain. True freedom isn't something you wait for, it's something you choose starting right now. Have you ever believed that your life's destiny would be defined by extraordinary leaps, moments of heroic bravery, or great achievements? Most people mistakenly think true transformation happens suddenly, dramatic changes that alter everything in an instant. But here's the powerful truth, clearly illuminated by Jim Rohn, a legendary thinker on human potential. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. The life you dream about, the extraordinary future you secretly crave, isn't built overnight. It's quietly created by small, seemingly insignificant choices made consistently over time. Imagine vividly holding a tiny seed in your hand. At first glance, it seems fragile, almost meaningless. Yet locked within this seed lies immense potential. It can grow into a majestic tree, resilient against storms, seasons, and time itself. Your daily actions are exactly like this seed. Each one appears insignificant alone, yet collectively they quietly transform your entire life. Robin Sharma captured this principle perfectly when he stated, "Everything is created twice, first in the mind and then in reality." Your consistent actions today literally shape who you become tomorrow. But here lies the hidden paradox about small actions. Precisely because they appear trivial, most people never bother to take them seriously. Instead, they wait endlessly for motivation to appear, hoping for inspiration before they act. Yet motivation rarely arrives before action. Motivation emerges only after you've already begun. Eddie Pinero articulated this beautifully. You win the day by stacking small victories, one by one. Each tiny victory rewrites the story you believe about yourself, and ultimately, it reshapes your entire identity. Science reveals this truth explicitly. Your brain literally rewires itself based on small repeated habits. Every intentional choice creates new neural pathways, strengthening your ability to achieve your goals and reshaping your brain to support lasting transformation. Yet the reverse is equally true. Inactivity quietly reinforces old patterns, strengthening the very limitations you yearn to escape. Every day spent waiting for inspiration silently reinforces your doubts. Every small action you choose intentionally becomes a powerful vote toward your highest potential. Think clearly right now. What small daily action can you start immediately, knowing it'll rewire your brain for lasting change? Maybe it's 15 minutes each morning, devoted to mastering a skill, journaling your intentions, or simply expressing gratitude consciously each day. Whatever it is, start today, not tomorrow, not next week, but now. Your small daily habits quietly accumulate into extraordinary results over time. Consider this carefully. Every great transformation in history unfolded through persistent daily actions. Michelangelo didn't create his masterpieces through sudden, bold gestures. He created them through thousands of precise, deliberate chisels. Your life transforms in exactly the same way. One intentional action, one deliberate choice at a time. So pause now and answer this clearly. What small intentional step will you commit to taking today, right this second, that could profoundly reshape your entire future? Have you ever paused to consider this single, powerful question? How will I be remembered? Whether you realize it or not, every second of your life is silently crafting your legacy, the story you'll leave behind. Each moment you live becomes permanent, quietly defining how you'll be remembered when you're gone. The philosopher Martin Heidegger, who studied deeply our human relationship with time and authenticity, revealed a profound truth. Truly embracing life requires facing its temporary nature clearly. Only by fully confronting the truth of your limited time can you live authentically, purposefully, and without regret. Alan Watts, the insightful thinker who vividly brought Eastern philosophy to the Western world, once provocatively challenged us, saying, "You didn't come into this world, you came out of it like a wave from the ocean." Your life isn't separate from the world, it's happening right now, moment by moment, inviting you to fully engage with passion and intention. Every second you spend waiting for approval, for the perfect moment, or for someone else's permission, is permanently lost. Your legacy isn't shaped by mere intention, it's shaped by clear, decisive promises you make and keep with yourself. Let me share with you the extraordinary yet lesser-known story of Alfred Nobel. One morning, Nobel woke to read his own obituary mistakenly published in the local newspaper. It labeled him the merchant of death, condemning him for inventions that promoted warfare and suffering. Nobel faced a stark, painful realization. This was how history would remember him. Deeply shaken, Nobel chose immediately to rewrite his story. He committed his entire fortune to honoring humanity's highest achievements through the Nobel Prizes. With a single promise made clearly and intentionally, Nobel transformed his legacy forever. Reflect honestly, right now. If your story ended tomorrow, what legacy would you leave behind? Would you be remembered for courage, authenticity, and purpose, or hesitation, regret, and unfulfilled dreams? Tomorrow isn't guaranteed. Your legacy is not waiting somewhere in the future, it's quietly being shaped in this exact moment. Simply put, Heidegger reminds us that fully facing our limited time here is what makes our life truly meaningful. Now, clearly and decisively, make yourself a powerful promise. Choose today to live intentionally, deliberately, courageously. Confront your fears honestly. Break free from invisible limitations. Act boldly, even when uncertainty whispers doubts in your ear. Write down explicitly, right now, one promise you'll make to yourself today, a clear intentional commitment that profoundly reshapes your future. And then take it one step further. Right now, comment below the single promise you're making to yourself today. Writing it down makes it real, and sharing it could inspire someone else. Your legacy isn't something distant or abstract. It's happening clearly, irrevocably right now. Heidegger was right. Facing the truth of your finite existence is precisely what empowers you to truly live. So answer yourself honestly, deeply, courageously. How do you want to be remembered? Your next action, your promise, will define everything. Your legacy awaits your answer.